Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving deep into some intense and emotional developments from The Young and the Restless. If you've been keeping up with the latest storyline, you already know things are heating up between Abby, Devon, and the ripple effects of Mariah's situation. But what's coming next might completely change the dynamic of this family, and possibly push Abby to make a bold, life-altering decision. Let's break it all down in a way that really captures the tension, emotion, and drama unfolding right now. At the center of this storyline is Abby Winters, a devoted mother who has been trying to hold her family together despite everything that's been happening around her. On the other side, we have Devon Winters, who is clearly struggling, emotionally, mentally, and perhaps even morally, as he wrestles with his anger and sense of injustice. The root of all this conflict? Mariah Copeland. After everything that went down, including the traumatic kidnapping involving little Dominic, Mariah's legal situation has taken a controversial turn. Instead of facing what Devon believes is appropriate punishment, Mariah has entered a plea deal that places her in a psychiatric facility rather than behind bars. And that's where Devon's frustration begins to boil over. From Devon's perspective, justice has not been served. He feels deeply that Mariah's actions deserve stronger consequences. To him, the pain, fear, and trauma caused to their family, especially to Dominic, cannot simply be brushed aside with therapy and treatment. Devon sees it as a failure of the system, and more importantly, a betrayal of what he believes is right. But Abby? She sees things very differently. Abby is looking at the situation through a more compassionate lens. She believes that Mariah needs help, not punishment. In her eyes, Mariah's actions were the result of emotional distress and psychological instability, not malicious intent. Abby wants healing, not revenge. And this fundamental difference in perspective is starting to tear them apart. As days pass, Devon's anger doesn't fade, it grows. He's already tried to overturn Mariah's plea deal, but his efforts have failed. That failure only adds fuel to the fire. Instead of moving forward, Devon becomes increasingly consumed by his frustration. He can't let it go, and more importantly, he doesn't want to. Abby, meanwhile, is growing more concerned, not just about Devon, but about their son, Dominic. Children are incredibly perceptive, and even at a young age, Dominic can sense that something is wrong. The tension in the house, the raised voices, the emotional distance, it all creates an environment that is far from healthy. Abby starts to notice these subtle changes. Maybe it's the way Dominic reacts to Devon's tone, or how he becomes quieter when arguments begin. Whatever it is, Abby realizes that this situation isn't just affecting their marriage, it's affecting their child. And that's something she cannot ignore. At one point, Abby directly confronts Devon. She warns him that if he doesn't get his emotions under control, there will be consequences, not just for him, but for their entire family. She's not issuing an empty threat, she's expressing genuine fear about what their home is becoming. But Devon? He's too far gone in his anger to really hear her. Instead of taking a step back, he doubles down. His bitterness intensifies, leading to more outbursts, more tension, and more emotional distance between him and Abby. And this is where things take a critical turn. Abby reaches her breaking point. She's tried to be patient. She's tried to be understanding. She's tried to support Devon through his frustration. But there comes a moment when protecting her child becomes more important than preserving the status quo. And that moment might be now. Imagine Abby standing in the living room, watching Devon spiral further into anger. The house feels heavy, tense, unpredictable, and emotionally exhausting. She looks over at Dominic and realizes that this is not the environment she wants him growing up in. So she makes a decision. A big one. Abby may decide to pack her bags, gather Dominic, and leave the Chancellor estate, at least temporarily. The Abbott mansion seems like the most likely destination. It's familiar, safe, and filled with people who can provide support and stability. For Abby, it's not about running away, it's about creating a healthier space for her son while giving Devon the time he clearly needs to work through his issues. This move wouldn't necessarily mean the end of their relationship. Instead, it could serve as a wake-up call for Devon. Sometimes, distance is the only way to make someone realize the impact of their actions. But let's be honest, this won't be easy. Devon is already dealing with feelings of injustice and frustration. If Abby leaves, it could hit him hard. He might feel abandoned, misunderstood, or even betrayed. that could either push him to reflect and change, or drive him deeper into his anger. Will Devon recognize that his behavior is hurting the people he loves most? Will he take steps to manage his anger, seek help, and rebuild his relationship with Abby? Or will his bitterness continue to grow, pushing Abby further away and potentially causing permanent damage? Another layer to consider is Dominic. Right now, he seems to be doing okay despite everything he's been through. The kidnapping ordeal was traumatic, but with the right support, he has a chance to move forward in a healthy way. However, if he remains in a tense and emotionally unstable environment, that progress could be at risk. Abby understands this, and it's likely the driving force behind her potential decision to leave. For her, Dominic's well-being comes first, no matter what. Her presence, even from a distance, continues to influence everything. Whether people agree with her plea deal or not, the reality is that her situation has exposed deep cracks in Abby and Devon's relationship. Mariah's need for help versus Devon's demand for justice. It's a conflict that goes beyond one person. It's about values, priorities, and how each character copes with trauma. As we look ahead, the storyline is clearly building toward a major emotional climax. Abby's patience is running thin. Devon's anger is reaching dangerous levels. And Dominic is caught in the middle of it all. Something has to give. Will Abby really move out with Dominic to protect him from Devon's growing anger? Is this just a temporary separation, or could it signal something more permanent? And most importantly, can Devon turn things around before it's too late? That's all for today's deep dive into The Young and the Restless spoilers and drama. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to stay tuned for more updates, theories, and storyline analysis. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.